let me tell you what kind of morning, afternoon I'm having here. Alright, so I took Julia to the bus stop, got home, emptied the dishwasher, cleaned up, and was having my breakfast. And then my sister finally got up, and I was kind of surprised that she was up as early as she was. She says, well, I overslept a couple of times, and I just didn't seem to feel right, and I'm kind of wanting to get into getting up at a decent time. And I knew why she was up, because she was heading to Toronto. She led me to believe that she was going to hang out with her ex-boyfriend. And I said, well, just because he started working there, I noticed you're going up there a lot more than what you did before. And, she can't answer it. And top it off, she's wearing like this really nice sundress where it shows off her chest. Like, come on, is she asking for trouble or what? Anyways, so she says, I'm not going up there just to see Steven. I'm going up to see Martina and spend the afternoon or whatnot. Well, after she had already left, Brian calls me and says, is Pam home? I says, no, she just left. He goes, oh, dang it. He says, the boss gave me 2 tickets to go to the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm like, oh no. So I finally get a hold of her, and I asked, is there any possible way you're able to come back for 7 o'clock to watch Julia? And she says, no, she didn't want to change her plans, and she started rambling on, and we got into a little tiff argument. And so I turned around and I says, you know what? If you can't do this for me, then I'm not going to do anything for you. And she basically is trying to say that she has no life because she's always working. And I'm like, that's not true. If she had no life, she wouldn't have time to hang out with us. We wouldn't do things on the weekends and whatnot. So Brian called me back, and I said, well, she said she didn't want to do it, and he said, well, what I could do is I could change the tickets for tomorrow's game. So what is she working tomorrow? I told him 5 to close, and Brian didn't want to believe me. He says, we'll call her and double check. So anyway, I told her I knew you were working 5 to close, but I didn't know if that was like for sure, because Brian didn't want to try to believe me, but he wanted me to call you. So then Brian had asked, he said, well, would it be okay if we dropped Julia off wherever they were tonight? And I said, I don't think that would be a good idea, because I know when they're out and about with their friends, they like to stay out late, and they don't like to come back, any sooner than 12:30 at night. Well, 12:30, sometimes 11:30. I'm going to say 11:30 latest. 12:30 is usually when they don't have to work, but 11:30 when they do have to go to work the next day, they're usually home by. And I didn't want that because Julia has to be in bed and whatnot. So what we're going to do is, I just told them, keep the tickets. We're going to see if we can exchange them and get 3 tickets. And if not, just buy another ticket if we have to. So, anyways, we found out that if Brian did take yesterday's tickets, we could have just called Jason, let him know we're dropping Julia off, and he would have took care of her after work and brought her home. So I said to Pam, when she told me this after she talked to him, I said, that's a really good piece of information to know, because next time if we ever get tickets for another ball game or basketball game or even a hockey game, we just have to call Jay and let him know, and drop Julia off just before we go to the game. But I know she's going to want to come with us, so it's just best that we just do it this way. So we're going to take it as a anniversary gift, because our anniversary is July 21st. Brian and I will be married 10 years. We have known each other for 9 years. Or is it been married for 10, known each other for 11? Anyway, my mind is going all over the place here, because I had appointments I had to rebook. I had to reschedule the eye appointment, and finally got an eye appointment available the Friday after school starts that week. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe we can swing it so that we can go to the eye appointment and then Julia can go to school in the afternoon. So I'm prepared for that. Somebody honked their horn. Anyway. And then I had to rebook the dentist because Brian had to tell me yesterday that his shift was changed because the guy that was told to switch shifts with Brian because he needed more training, apparently they let him go. I don't know if he was showing up to work or if he wasn't doing a good job or what the case was, but they had to let him go. So they're switching Brian back on his other shift. And I'm like, oh, great. So all the appointments that we had pre-booked. Sorry there, I had to take a drink. But all the appointments, like I said, we had pre-booked. I had to rebook them again. And one appointment I have to get Brian to deal with because I had got a hold of someone, but then when I called back again, I ended up being transferred to something else, and finally got a hold of someone and got the new number, and then got the number and the extension, got a hold of them, told them I needed to rebook my appointment, gave them the date that I was looking for, and then they're like, well, I think for that appointment, when it's booked, it's booked. You either make it or you don't make it, kind of thing. So we've got to call the doctor's office and figure that out, if they're able to see her, because it's her last appointment. And I don't know if they definitely really have to see her, but we're thinking that they might. So I'm just going to get Brian to deal with that one. But like I said, I was able to change the eye appointment and the dentist. So that's all set up. The 30th, which is a Thursday, it is the last day of school for Julia. We are very excited. We're counting down the days. And we are going on vacation. We are leaving for vacation July 4th. We are leaving. And we will be back possibly either the 8th or the 9th. We're going to be back from holidays. We are going up near Brockville. And we're going to go up to Ottawa. We're going to see my aunt, who we haven't seen in about a year. I think it's been a year and a half we've last saw her. My uncle knew he was really sick and he was going to pass, and he didn't know when, so he made the point to come out to Brampton and with his son and my cousin Jen and her little girl. Her husband had to work, so he wasn't able to come, but her mom and dad came, and we all went for lunch, had a nice visit, got some great pictures, and then they headed off back home. So it was really